Hi, welcome to PyQt5 tutorial for you. My name is Darlington Nkwasi. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a bar chart with PyQtChart. Just something that looks like this, okay? So without wasting time, let's dive into it. As usual, I have my boilerplate code here. So the first thing I'm going to do is create two bar sets. What we want to do is compare the heat gain components of two different rooms. Okay, so to create the bar sets, I'm going to say self.set0 is equal to QtChart dot q bar set. Okay, and I'll call this room 1. All right, and I'm going to copy this, paste it here, change this to 2 and this to 1. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is create two dictionaries. Okay, I'll call the first one room 1, and I'll say the first component should be lighting. Okay, and that should be like 1000 watts, and the second one should be people, and this should be, let's say, 150 watts, and the next one should be appliances, and this should be let's say 1200 watts. Okay, and the next one should be walls, and this should be like say 310 watts, and the next one should be roof. Okay, the roof, for the roof we could say it should be 300 watts. Okay, and for windows we could say this should be 200 watts, and for the floor we could say this should be 0. Okay, and for infiltration we could say this should be 0 too. Okay, then I'm going to copy this, paste it here, change this to 2. Okay, uh let me see what I can change here. So I could change this to 305. Okay, 305 watts, and I could change this to let's say 315, and this to like say 275. Okay, and what I'm going to do next is append the sets. Okay, append the dictionaries to the sets. So I'm going to say self dot set 0 dot append, and I'm going to say room 1 dot values. Okay, and I'll copy this, paste it here, change this to 2, and this to 1. Okay, now what I'm going to do is create a bar series. So I'm going to say self dot bar series is equal to QtChart dot q bar series. Okay, and I'm going to say self dot bar series dot append, and I'll say self dot set 0. okay, and I'll come down here and say self dot bar series again, and say append self dot set one. Okay, so I'm appending the sets to the series now. What I'm going to do next is create the chart. So I'm going to say self dot chart is equal to QtChart dot QtChart. Okay, and I'm going to say self dot chart dot add series. Okay, that's to add the series to the chart. Okay, so I'm going to say self dot bar series. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is set the title for the chart. So I'm going to say self dot chart dot set title, and we could say this should be bar chart example. Okay, uh I don't know if there should be a space here. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is create a list of categories. So I'm going to say self.categories is equal to um, lighten people. Okay, so different categories of heat gain. Okay, so I'll say lighten, sorry, lighten people, appliances, walls, roof, windows, floor, and infiltration. Okay, what I'm going to do next is create the axis. Okay, so I'm going to say self dot x axis is equal to QtChart dot um, q bar category axis. Okay, then I'm going to say self dot x axis dot append, and I'm going to say self dot categories. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is um set the x-axis now for the chart. So I'm going to say self dot chart dot set axis x. Okay, and I'm going to say self x axis and self dot bar series. Okay, um what I'm going to do next is create the y-axis. So I'm going to say self dot y axis is equal to QtChart. I want this to be a q value axis, so I'm going to say q value axis. Okay, and I'm going to say self dot chart dot set axis y, and I'm going to say self dot y axis, and I'm going to say self dot bar series. Okay, now I'm going to set the range for the y-axis. Y-axis. Okay, so I'm going to say self dot y axis dot set range, and I'm going to say this should be between 0 and 2000. Okay, now what I'm going to do is set the legend for the chart. So I'm going to say self.chart dot legend, and I'm going to say set visible true. Okay, and I'm going to say self dot legend dot set alignment, and I'm going to say qt core dot qt dot align bottom. Okay, and I'm going to say for the x-axis I'm going to set the title text. So I mean the title text. Okay, so I'm going to say self dot chart dot axis x dot set title text. Okay, and I want this to be heat gain component. Okay, now I'm going to copy this, paste it here. Okay, change this to y and this to heat gain in watts. Okay, and what I'm going to do next is set the animation. So I'm going to say self dot chart dot set animation options, and I'm going to say this should be Qt GUI dot it's supposed to be QtChart dot QtChart dot let's say series animations. Okay, series animations. All right, then the next thing we're going to do is create a chart view. So I'm going to say self.chart view is equal to QtChart dot QChart view. Sorry. Okay, and I'm going to say self dot chart. All right, then the next thing I'm going to do is say self dot chart view dot set render hint to make the curves or lines smooth. Set render hint, then I would say qt GUI dot q painter dot anti liaison. Okay, then I'm going to add this chart view to the vertical layout. So I'm going to say self dot vertical layout. Okay, dot add widgets. Okay, and I'm going to say self dot chart view. Okay, so now if I save it and run it, oh wow, it says main window object has no attributes legend. Okay, that's where self dot, okay, sorry, this is supposed to be self dot chart dot legend. Okay, so I'm going to save it now and run it, and you can see the bar chart. Okay, so that's basically how it works. If you enjoyed watching this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.